Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And Hollywood Mike, you know, I don't know why when you just said your name, I was like, wait, who?
You forgot me already?
Maybe I did. I'm not sure.
New hairstyle?
No.
No?
I don't know what it is, but it was like, oh my God, yeah, that is Ray sitting next to me today.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't know.
Not a shadow.
I just had a brain fart for some reason.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
it happens at that age.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you know, for sure. Maybe you should spell your name differently or something like that. I don't
Possibly.
know. Add an extra Y on the end of it so it's a differentiates your name from everything else.
But, you know, it's. I know it's almost 3 months after Christmas.
Yeah.
But tonight we're welcoming Holly.
Right. And they brought a bunch of dudes with them.
They brought a bunch of goons with.
Yeah. See how we did that?
Yeah.
We're almost pros.
We're like wizards.
Almost professionals. Absolutely.
Almost.
Yeah. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Oh, wow.
Great. Good to be here.
That's a lot.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. That takes a lot of whiskey
Yeah, I was going to say.
to come up with that quick. Man, I feel like I'm a here. You know what?
And you think this is water.
It's probably it's probably easy for me to lower my chair then. There we go. See, there we go. We got it right there. So you guys came in from Logan Square, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, born and raised Chicago, Logan Square area, or what's going on?
No, we're transplants. But
Yeah?
me and Brandon are from a suburb called Elgin.
Yeah.
That's where we grew up.
Suburb called Elgin. Geez, where's that now?
Just north of South Elgin.
Yeah.
We were talking about South Elgin.
No, I was just kidding. I actually grew up in the Schaumburg area, so I know exactly
the Berg.
where Elgin is. The Berg. Yeah, is that what it's called now? It's the Berg.
Yeah. The Berg.
The 601 or whatever the heck it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And you spent some time out there in Elgin too.
I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was out there? One of the first places where I actually played a show that felt like I was a real musician. It was, I believe it was called Hemmons Auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still there?
It is.
Wow. No kidding.
I thought you were about to say the casino.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
I was going to guess YMCA.
Yeah, well, I've done that too. I've done it all. YMCA, casino, and Hemmons Auditorium. It's a
Rock
long.
House.
Hey, it was a long road from the Berg.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long have you guys been together?
We just turned six.
6 back in November.
We're a 6-year-old band.
So you started this band when you were like what?
Oh,
3?
God. Yeah. I was
So
just a
youthful.
sprightly young 22-year-old at the time.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who started it?
I guess
This fella.
yeah, kind of a mixture of us over here. We were, me and Brandon have played in a band for literally forever. I was about 11. He was probably like 13 at the time.
I wasn't too far off.
And
Wow.
that has just transcended over the years into when we all finally graduated from like school and we were living in Chicago, we started up this group, and it was a group before Holly. Different members kind of naturally gravitated into what it is today, and we've been running with Holly this outfit for 6 years now.
Yeah. Okay. And how many people are in the band?
Five with 2 horn players as well.
Yeah.
5 with 2 horn players.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
7.
So
actually.
7 at our strongest.
7. Yeah.
Right.
It's a cramped stage and a cramped tour van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was going to say you're speaking to the choir over here.
Yeah. No, we have 4 horn players. And,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A total of 10 people on stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, ha ha ha. No.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's interesting. No, we were listening to your stuff right before you guys came in, and you're young gentlemen yourselves, and man, you seem to really have a knack for that 70s blue-eyed soul kind of thing. How the heck did that come about for you guys?
Oh, man.
Just, yeah, we've been listening to that for a long time. So I don't know. Brandon could probably speak on this more. Like where we grew up, I feel like my friends had the wisdom of a 75-year-old man who was already listening to old blues artists from Chicago and old soul records from and things from Stax and things from Chess, and it was So I just credit them all the time because at 11 years old I was introduced to some super old and really great music, and that's been like the main influential point of where we write today and who we draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
Now, is that the stuff that you would listen to at that age, or it's just stuff that you would kind of gravitate toward? I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like I grew up, my mom listened to Muddy Waters all the time. She would go see Muddy Waters at the Quiet Night, like every Saturday night, when she lived in the city. But I grew up listening to like that, Stevie Ray Vaughan, like blues music. And then, all of us kind of grew up with like our parents listening to this old blues, rock and roll, soul music.
Yeah.
And like, we had our own, like, we liked some, modern bands and stuff at the time, but like, we're kids, we're impressionable about all that stuff. But
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
but we were in a high school band, and like it kind of started out in that, hard rock, punk rock. We were, kids, and then we started bringing in this blues, and Tanner really like sang blues and soul music really well. So we were like, well, let's lean into this. Wow. And then by the time it came to like this band and everything, we knew that was kind of where we wanted to go with, the music and all of that, is that soul, blues, retro rock and roll kind of direction.
It's a grounding sort of space at the same time. There's so many different sort of like artists that we all sort of tap into from the 70s and the 60s and the 50s.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can be all over the place, right? Like I am one who loves like the Doobie Brothers and yacht rock, but it's still sort of in the pantheon of like, of like the old soul, sort of like soul Motown sort of thing.
Yeah. I still can't believe people say the Dewey Brothers and yacht rock in the same sentence.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought of them as yacht rock.
I know, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? I don't know what it. Yeah,
I mean, Michael McDonald,
yeah, Michael McDonald by himself for sure.
Yeah. But pre Michael McDonald, I don't think they were yacht rock.
They were definitely more
definitely
Southern rock for sure. But they're pigeonholing them into that, like and Toto. Total, and Foreigner's yacht rock now.
Foreigner's yacht rock.
Well, that's because there's no original members left.
Well, that's true. But it's what it is. It's their ballads. The Foreigner power ballads are what classify them. Yep. I mean, you're not going to hear their rock and stuff on yacht rock. No, but, you're going to be a girl like you. Yeah, that's that's totally yacht rock for sure. Yeah.
Well, I just had to get that out there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one, because there's some stuff that's like, how is this yacht rock? But then you realize, okay, I'm kind of mellowed out. Yeah, it's right.
Yeah, it has been 9 minutes.
It has been 9 minutes. I did the thing. I mentioned it, and there it goes. Yeah. But but it's still this space that we just like love to tap into in terms of particularly Motown and Stax is always sort of our guiding light for whenever once we write collectively as a band. So we put together songs in the room together, right? And there's sort of this vibe check of like when we're doing something and it's maybe not working out, we're like, well, let's go like try to listen to a few things and maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that. Let's try out something like I think the thing we always say is like, well, how would like Otis Redding do this?
All the time, Otis Redding,
Yeah, how would Stevie Wonder do this? You know what I mean? Like that sort of, none of us are really, he would do it like that. Yeah, like bob the head. But, none of us are like particularly that, nerdy about music theory at all. You know what I mean? We can't really, we'll say, it's this chord or this chord and stuff like that. But really it's like the shared language that we have is like all of those references. Yeah. And it's sort of, that's the space where we all can sort of talk to each other and write from. Yeah.
Are you guys music majors at all?
No.
I was a music minor.
Yeah.
But, that was.
So what's your role in the band? What do you play?
I play keys.
Keys. Okay. Yeah. Of course he does. He does. I mean, keys, 70s Blue White Soul, and the porn stash.
Oh, yeah.
I wish our cameras were working.
Little captain's hat, everything. He's got it all set.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Picture it.
That's interesting. I always find it fascinating when people much younger than the genre that they sound like. I'm always curious as to where that came from, and parents don't realize what an influence they have on their kids when it comes to music, because 99% of the time it's like, oh, my mom did this or my dad did this. So that's pretty interesting. When you're just hanging out with your friends when you were younger, what would they say when you're like, hey, we're gonna throw on some Ace or Little River Band?
Luckily, we had, this was our friend group, so we weren't outside of it too much with people that thought we had weird, eclectic taste in music. We were in our echo chamber, so we were always, bouncing off the same stuff. But I will say that,
that's how we discovered new stuff, is through all of our friends. Because our high school band, again, same thing. We all had different tastes, and so guitar player would come with something, the drummer would come with something, and we're all sharing that stuff.
Who is this Rolling Stones you speak of?
Yeah. Now, did you all go to the same high school together? No.
I'm from Minnesota. I met Tanner in college.
Okay.
And I did not have that friend group that was into all the same music that I love.
Right.
I was into Chicago blues and soul music and 70s rock as a whole.
Right.
And
so he did get beat up at parties when he played.
Definitely. Have you ever heard
a lot of bullying to get in there?
I was like, I was like, it was the early 2010s, and I was like, oh my God, have you guys listened to Dark Side of the Moon? That was me in high school, and I really didn't have anybody to sort of relate to in that space until I met Tanner in college, and he knew who Sunhouse was.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, oh, you like the blues too?
To be honest, though, we bonded over a lot of John Mayer.
A lot of John Mayer too.
It's not really digging too far back into the world of authentic blues music, but
I was going to say, okay, you got to give me your bluesman cards for this.
I want that on the record. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it was sort of like we were like, what would the girls want to listen to? Sort of space, but also being really, Tanner, he was the first person that I think I met in my life who actually knew how to play the blues harp.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh,
nice.
Well, that's sick. Well, I know that space,
Yeah.
Can't believe somebody knows how to do that.
In all fairness to John Mayer, though, I'm not a fan of his popular commercial stuff, but he is a really good guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm shocked at how good he is, and his tone is amazing. His tone is so good you can actually go on to YouTube and there's 1,000 people trying to tell you how to get the John Mayer tone.
That's all I've watched for years. I play his signature guitar. It's not a big deal. No, same his pop stuff, not the biggest fan of, but his guitar work is phenomenal. There's a reason he's known as being one of the best guitar players alive right now. Yeah.
Well, sure. I wouldn't go that far, but I will say that his tone is impeccable.
Oh yeah,
he has fantastic tone.
A Dumble helps.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of really good Dumble clones out there.
Yeah,
I have one. And I don't sound like John Mayer. The one thing that nobody talks about is, his hands are attached to the ends of his wrists, and that's the difference. Yeah. You can have his exact rig, soup to nuts, and play his signature guitar, and you're not going to have that same tone.
100%. It's in the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And believe me, there's many people who have tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had a John Mayer cover band in here before, and we talked about the same thing, the quest for finding that tone, and no matter how hard you do, you can't find it because you don't have his fingers.
Roses.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty spectacular because I've seen him play other amplifiers other than Dumbles. I've seen him use a tube screamer with a Fender Twin Reverb, and he still sounds like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which that's pretty much what the Dumble technology was based on. Robin Ford has the first Dumble ever built, and it was built after a Fender Twin Reverb cranked with a tube screamer. Yeah, that was it. So that's really all you need.
Is that all he did on Sob Rock?
What's that?
I don't know.
Is that all he did on Sob Rock?
He has a Saldano, I think, and some other stuff. Yeah,
I'm not. All you have to do is YouTube it because, like I said, there's 1,000.
I'm sure.
There's 100,000 things on YouTube. It's like, how did he get the sound on this album? How did he get the tone on this album?
It is getting crazy though. I recently, I think I sent this to you. John Mayer has a signature gauge string with Ernie Ball now. That it's like, I think is it between a 10.5?
It's like a 9.5.
It's a 9.5. Yeah,
no,
between a 9 and a 10.
It's a 10.5. Yeah,
they make them. Yeah,
it's just like how it's like another thing to buy to get as close as you possibly can.
That's all it is.
To just totally
Hey, you can hear the difference.
You can hear the difference. You totally can. Totally to just take away from the fact that the guy is, a genius.
Yeah. I bought a guitar recently from a guy, a used hammer, and I was playing it, and I was like, what gauge strings do you have on this? Because the setup is perfect. I don't want to change, the gauge strings. And
Sure.
I play slightly heavier gauge strings. And I said, are these 10s? And he goes, well, they might be. Actually, no, I think those are 9.5s. This is a 9.5, and then I think this is like 11.5. But this one I have a 15. I'm like, really? You put that much into your strings?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
That sounds like about 3 different packs of strings.
yeah, right,
for sure.
Yeah, you at that point you probably just have to buy a gross of 50s, which is I think what the low E was or whatever. But yeah, it's
Good God.
just insane.
And throw away all the ones you don't use.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. And so, what do you do in the band?
I sing.
You're the singer, and no instruments. You just
I play
sing.
guitar,
You
too.
play
Yeah,
guitar.
yeah.
Okay,
Mean blues heart.
yeah,
Mean blues harp
Yeah, no kidding.
about once a year we bring
Hell
that
yeah.
out.
yeah.
It's
Depending on how we're feeling in the set.
Yeah, it's the Phil for Time jam.
Okay.
Is the blues jam, but it's always fun.
Certainly.
No, everybody has to do it. Well, I'm curious. I'm curious enough to see what they sound like. What about you?
I'm very curious too.
All right. Well, why don't we take
for
a
the
break?
music.
For the music, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Alrighty.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down and click on radio station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
And we got the boys in the studio here the first time tonight. Take it away, fellas.
2, 3, and
So I quit my job, it was on the way home. Wanna spend all summer with you, making love to you all night long. Someone told me to turn down the street, I don't know. This lady's here around your back so long. How many do you think you should know? 'Cause ever since you and I, is it any word that I can't find nobody else to believe in? Oh, I'm gonna tell these secrets to you. The only one I had, only one around and yet it's true. Does everybody lie just to take me by surprise? Who am I gonna tell these secrets to you? I'm gonna find someone. I'm gonna find someone. Come on, baby.
I figured you were just doing that much. I don't know if we want to do full songs.
Oh man, I was into it. I was just adjusting this to keep it because your cord was starting to hit your
I thought
guitar
you were giving
strings.
me the signal.
No. So I was just holding it up like
Excuse
this.
me. That's
No,
enough
man.
of that song.
No, that was pretty cool, man. No, that was awesome. No, I literally was doing this because this cord started hitting it was resting across the neck of your guitar. So I was holding it up like this.
Go underneath. There you go.
The kids are into that these days. The little rubber stopper guitars. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's controversy around that, too. Yeah.
All right, picking up where you start. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, okay. Got
No, that was pretty cool, man. I wasn't trying to stop you. Man, finish that up. Finish that song.
it. 2, 3.
Stayed aside for weeks, didn't want to talk through. Tried on my faith for you, got me feeling some trust issue. I wish I could skip to the part where the feel brand new. Anybody feel the love that God's still true? Is it a sense that we're not? Is it any word that I can't find no
is that's secrets with a pause in between.
That's the real one. Oh shit! Holy crap! No, I really wasn't trying to make you
You will
stop.
silence me no longer.
I was literally trying to help you out because your eyes were closed as you were singing, and the cord from your headphones was literally like a half inch away from your pinky. Yeah. And I was trying to get it off the neck of the guitar.
Actually, okay.
That was fucking amazing.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I didn't know we could swear on this.
Holy shit!
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh yeah,
It's gonna change everything.
Yeah.
There was a lot. There was
if you saw us sweating, it's because we're just holding profanity.
yeah.
Oh shit!
That song is
man.
supposed to have 10 F words in it.
I was gonna say. I wish I knew. I was supposed to say "you whore" in that song, and I'm not gonna sing it.
Not that.
No, man, that was holy crap. I was mesmerized.
That was good.
Yeah, the first time when you stopped, I almost didn't realize what the heck I was doing because I was just kind of holding the cord up to keep it from hitting the guitar, and then he just stopped, and then I opened my eyes and came to. I was like, wait, shit, he stopped. Wait, hold on. I was literally mesmerized by that for a minute. Gosh.
Well,
That's kind of scary. There's 5 guys locked in a room here. We might start falling in love.
I can feel it already.
That happens.
Man. So who came up with the idea for that one?
Again, like we said, we write. I mean, it sounds like it can't be true, but we're like a 5-person collaborative writing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a very big opinion of himself. We're a 5-man collaborating group writing machine.
machine.
Well, we've all been
good.
broken up with at some point, so that helps our songwriting.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was Lionel Richie that said the only thing that doesn't go out of style is love. So write about it. Right.
So everything you guys do is original?
Yeah, I mean, we do have some covers that we'll sprinkle in depending on if, how long our set is or if we're reading the room right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we do all originals.
Yeah. You guys pretty much just play around the Chicago area, or are you traveling around?
We've toured a bit. Yeah, we've done parts of the South, East Coast, little one stops in the Midwest, but hoping to do more now. Yeah. We like the road. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Good, bad, and ugly.
It is for a little while.
Yeah.
You guys
Just a little while.
You guys are still young enough where you think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. And you guys have quite a few LPs out, right?
All EPs right now.
Oh, it's EPs. Okay.
EPs.
We do, and we're just going to continue to go on the public record and tease people like we have the last 4 years. What we mean at this time, we do have a 13-track LP, our debut LP. It's all done, and when we, how bands, musicians, they say that, and when they say their album's done, truly they still have to get it mixed,
right.
still have to get it mastered. Like it's
done.
6 months.
It's never done. I mean, it's done. It's done, man. It's done.
Like it's done.
It's done.
You still got to do this now. Yeah. So it is.
It's in the package.
It's been mastered.
That's the problem. Well, now it's time. Now it's time for the real work. Honestly, is actually getting it out there. And
the modern day marketing.
Yeah.
Debacle
of how to face social media and try to be a modern band.
Well, let's talk about that. So how are you guys doing that?
TikTok.
That's our
TikTok.
I did notice a lot of TikTok. TikTok. But I mean, what about? I mean, you looking at selling it or you giving it away? What's your philosophy on this whole thing?
Well,
I mean, when you have when you have the product, when it's officially done and ready, right?
Totally. Yeah. Well, like any, it'll be available for free everywhere and anywhere online. But we'll press some vinyl for this, hopefully, and we'll do everything we can to stay afloat as a band. As hard as it is, we got to find some way to make some money out of it. But for the most part, our philosophy has always been that we just want to get it out there, and so we're lucky enough to be able to find outlets for making money elsewhere. Yeah,
I saw you guys on YouTube, and you definitely are on TikTok. Everybody's doing that nowadays. Everybody's doing YouTube and TikTok, right? And it is a quick way of getting it out of there.
Yeah.
But think about how many people are actually getting discovered by doing that. I bet you if you looked at how many people are actually getting discovered versus the amount of people who are actually doing it, the percentage is very low. So what else needs to be done?
Tour. Yeah, it's touring. Touring is the big thing. That's sort of where actually people can make money sometimes, but that's how you get it. Yeah, that's how you get your music out there and you build a fan base. It's really, I mean, particularly like we've never been signed to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's all independent. It's all grassroots.
And that's becoming few and far between nowadays. When when you talk to bands, back in the 70s and 80s and even the early 90s, you'd always want to talk, to a band about, have you guys getting signed yet? Or anybody talking to anybody about getting signed? Yeah. That's almost the conversation nobody has nowadays because, I mean, if you're not in the club, you don't get signed. I mean, let's face it, there is a club.
Yeah.
And most of us aren't in it.
Yeah.
Being all original, do you guys find it hard finding places to play?
Never.
Not really.
Yeah,
not really. That too. We have built something in the last 6 years in Chicago that we have really good relationships with the talent buyers. I think, they know that we can bring some people out. So if there's a group rolling through town that is good for this amount of tickets, they know we're good for the rest or whatever. And so we build up that way any way we can. And we probably should. We're making a better effort this year to be playing more shows, or at least trying to book out right now, thanks to our internet stardom of TikTok lately that has helped. But I'm kidding, by the way. We're just starting to find some TikTok success in the past 2 months, which is great. But for the most part, our attitude is like book as many shows as possible coming up, and we're fortunate to not have too much of a struggle right now, in Chicago.
Yeah, because we've talked to other bands, and that they have some original, but they won't do it because nobody wants to hear it. They just want
I
covers
didn't
say anyone wants to hear.
Yeah, no, we're sort of facing a little bit of that problem on the TikTok front. Is we decided we've been trying a little bit too hard at social media for the last, I don't know, 4 years or so, and trying to we would do like a filmed live session, and we would have to pay somebody to come in, and they'd have to edit it all out, and it'd be in this long form content. It would go on YouTube, and then it'd be like, well, why did this only get 800 views? Right. And then all of a sudden we just took this sort of we don't really give that much of a shit anymore sort of approach, and we were it was like the five of us in a frame playing covers and some originals, and all of a sudden that's where we started to get some success. Yeah. When
you think about it, it's from a business standpoint. Let's say you get 800 views of this video, right? Those 800 views could be coming from all corners of the earth. It's like, how do you build up a following when there's only 6 people in Chicago that want to see you?
Right.
Totally.
I mean, really, that's why you've got to do the grassroots thing and get out there and tour. You got to play in front of a bunch of people over and over and over again and build up a following. If you can get 500 people in Chicago and they're all from Chicago, well, next thing you know, you're going to start getting a few hundred from Indiana, and then you're going to start getting a few hundred from Ohio, and just kind of spread out a little bit.
Joliet.
Joliet. Yeah, absolutely.
even like us, we're the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. All our interviews are based on Chicago musicians. It has to have some kind of Chicago relation. But when we look at our stats, we're all over the world. People are listening. So, I mean, you got some guy in India or whatever, or Switzerland. It's like, why?
And it's interesting because whenever we have blues artists on, that's when people from India really listen in. They love, it's like they love Chicago blues in India. It's
good music.
Cool. Absolutely.
Everybody gets the blues. It's a human thing. We all feel
so
it.
when you say touring, what's touring to you guys? That means a little something to everybody, a little different to everybody. What do you mean by, when you say touring, what does that mean?
It's like, I think we have a long way to go when it comes to touring, but for us, it's whatever we can make work and what makes sense. I think we all know what it's like we love to announce a tour and get out and see these new cities, but for the most part, until you build yourself up, you just hope you're playing to 10 people and whatever in Cincinnati and in Philadelphia. And, but getting out there and doing it is step one. And it doesn't really matter at first if you're playing to 5 people or if you're playing to 500 people. You just got to start somewhere. And so that's kind of what it still sort of relatively looks like for us. We're building up a bit. We've done the East Coast 3-4 times now. And it is cool because, it starts and it's your friends and it's your family and it's your friend's family. And it's like you get a little bit of a 10-person built in at each city. Right. But then from there, then there's 10 random people the next time, and 10 more the next time.
We have some super fans from Colorado. We've never toured.
Shout them out.
They literally. The story goes is that we played a place called Raccoon Motel down in Davenport? Davenport.
Yeah.
And they were going to drive to come from Colorado to Davenport, Iowa. to see us.
Iowa.
And they unfortunately got in a car accident. Everybody was
that
fine,
sucks.
but they were like super apologetic, like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, they're
oh my God.
apologizing to us.
We were like, "What?"
We couldn't buy another car in time.
That was like their mentality.
But we did a proper tour of like the South and the East Coast in 2022, and they were there at a couple of shows, or was it just one show?
3 shows.
3 shows. Yeah. Which is,
They went from Colorado to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this little indie band
for
from
this
Chicago.
little indie band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't that
wild.
make you feel good though?
Yeah.
It makes you feel good, but you're like, really? Really? You're like, all right.
for us.
All right. Okay, cool.
Do they have weapons?
Yeah, look, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, I was drinking hot chocolate and eating Twinkies in my mother's basement 3 days ago. You're coming out to see me? Yeah.
Christ, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. You know, there's a certain level of humility involved in that.
Definitely. You know, the big thing about when we sort of tour, you know, we like to joke we're businessmen, right? You know, at the end of the day,
I love how he giggled when you said that.
You know, we've been fortunate enough to like we've gotten some gigs where people have asked us to like play weddings.
Yeah.
And it was like the big one was we played at a wedding in Nashville, North Carolina, and then we were like, all right, well, we can build a whole tour around this, and then the wedding sort of ended up paying for the tour as a whole, and we're like, oh, okay,
right. Yeah.
this is a cool, weird way to sort of make it work and stuff like that.
No, that's what you have to do.
But that's what you got to do.
Yeah, you're not making any money doing this. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know,
Yeah, a
you
little
get,
bit,
you play the wedding, and then that pays for the tour, and then the next show you do it pays for a few hours of studio time or whatever the heck it is.
100%.
That's how it's always been.
Yeah, like we all work full-time jobs pretty much, and like, you know, so we're busy 9 to 5 Monday through Friday for the most part. Like,
Right.
and like, it's nice that we've been able to get the band to like, at first we were putting our own money into it, right? And like, you know, whatever we put in is what, you know, for recording and all that kind of stuff is our own money. But now we've gotten it to the point, we're like going out pays for itself. Going on tour, recording our album pays, you know, the band can pay for the stuff that the band does, which is a really good spot.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right.
we're not going into the red for going on tour or something.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's good. You guys have a smart approach.
And now you also have a connection in Colorado. You ought to see if they can get you some gigs out there.
Yeah, right.
Well, they've offered us the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
You know, places to stay. And
The West Coast seems to be sort of eluding us for the sense that there's not a lot until you get to really Colorado.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's sort of this big gap. But
what do you think Kansas is going to say when they hear that?
Well,
Or
hey.
Nebraska?
You know,
somebody book us a show in Kansas.
I'll tell you what,
Go to Omaha.
Denver is actually really cool for if you want to go to Colorado, check out Denver. There's a lot of great music venues, you know, small venues in Denver. I was in Denver years ago, and I was there for business myself, and I went into the bar next door to the hotel. And have you guys ever heard of a band called Chain Station?
No.
They're kind of like almost like a rock and roll bluegrass.
It's a spinoff of Chain Smokers.
No, it is. No, it isn't. No, close, but no. I mean, they play instruments like mandolin and upright bass and stuff like that, and it sounds like bluegrass music, but there's a little bit of an edge to it. And I saw them there for the very first time, just playing in a local club, and now they tour all over the place. They've got all kinds of albums out. Fantastic band,
Nice.
and it goes back years. I've been seeing that band every time I go to Denver. I'd see them there.
And there's a ton of ski towns in Colorado.
Yeah.
That's
You
where
get into
the
them.
money is. Got to go to the money.
Yeah,
Especially
Gotta go
in the
money.
winter, you get booked in some of these clubs out there.
yeah.
You're getting people from all over the country coming there. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, we got enough time to get one more song from you guys. I'd love to have you play one more time before we start signing off.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
And we got Holly back in the studio one more time for you guys.
All right, this is a non-released song yet that's coming out on this album we've been teasing forever. It's called Give Me a Break.
Actually, it's called The Weight of This Heart.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
We renamed it.
A band fight.
Band fight right here on the air.
What did you just say, dude?
It's the title track to the album.
I'm out.
Title to be determined.
Okay, it's called Weight of This Break. We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
That's probably where it will be.
Just give me a break. Come on. From this lonely I need to escape from all this pain. Won't you give me a break? Little times got back on my feet. Walking feels so easy. Can't pretend pain comes to an end while I'm breaking into pieces. Time is fading in. I'm getting lost in the wind. I'm waiting for you. Give me a break. Come on, from your lonely days. Guess what I'm feeling. I need to escape from all this pain. Won't you give me a break? These are years working all night long, running out of options. These country roads never feel like home. We can find our way together. Time is fading in. I'm getting lost in the wind. I'm waiting for you. Give me a break. Come on, from these lonely days. Here's what I'm feeling. I need to escape from all this pain. Won't you give me a break? Yes, you would. Well, we were so far from home, and you're feeling all alone. Yeah, you were running too far from the weight of this heart. Yeah, the weight of this heart. There it is. Just give me a break. Come on, from your lonely days. That's what I'm feeling. I need to escape from all this pain. Won't you give me a break? Come on, oh, won't you give me a break? Come on, oh, won't you give me a break? Yeah, give me a break. Oh, won't you give me a break? Come on, 'cause you were so far from home, and you're feeling alone, and you're running too far. Is it big to stop? Is it run up too far? From the weight of this heart, yeah, the weight of this heart, from the weight of this heart.
Wow, those people. Thank you.
All right, fellas. Well, that was fantastic. Real quick, where can people find you?
Everywhere.
On social media.
Mostly
Tell-
we're very
Everywhere.
active on Instagram.
Yeah.
Obviously this
At
year we're
Hollyy.band.
Holly.bands, 2 Y's, TikTok. Like I said, we're just internet stars now on TikTok.
Yeah.
Where'd the name come from?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. God, I
Till
thought
the
we were
end.
going to get out of here.
Yeah, we almost were unscathed.
Actually, the guy who came up with the name is not here.
That's true. Shout out to our other 2 members, Rafi and Dom, who couldn't join us this evening. Holly, like the way I describe it, and this is not a good description of a band name, but we were basically we were a band called WC and the Fam for about 8 months that had an irrelevant meaning as well, but we were running with it. And then we broke up, and for about 3 months, we had no band name. And we're like throwing shit at the wall. We were constantly asking each other like, what's a good name? What's this? And our instinctual reaction, someone would be like, how about this? How about we call ourselves Russian Pizza Circles or something like that? And we're just like, stupid. That sucks. No, next. And like that was just on and on for 3 months. And then finally, Rafi was like, what if we call ourselves Holly? And we were kind of just like, wait a minute, what'd you just say?
Why not?
And it was like first time where we were kind of just like, wait, what was that? Actually, that
I don't hate it.
That works.
I don't hate it. Like kind of like as an homage to that like vintagey, just like a name that kind of fits in our very vulnerable lyricism.
Do we mention the comma? The Lord?
Totally, dude.
Yeah. So it was originally one Y with a comma after it. It was sort of like the idea was
It's like the start of a letter.
Start of a letter to like an X or
Holly.
something
Oh,
that,
okay.
letter,
I can get that.
That kind
Okay.
of started it, yeah.
But the internet decided that wasn't best for
Right.
search engine
SEO was not
optimization.
good to
A
us.
semicolon would have been better.
Yeah,
You're right.
Where were you
definitely.
6 years ago?
Yeah, and so we were, we were like, God, man, we got to figure out some way to become more searchable, and we tested out the double Y, and it did great.
It's great.
Overnight.
Great.
We no longer
Great.
had to compete with this. There's actually a Portuguese DJ named Hollyy who does great numbers, and he was always like putting us to shame. So
Right.
We
don't
actually
compete with him anymore.
We actually played on the same night in Chicago.
Oh, it's
There's,
true.
there's also a band called Baldy Holly, and I believe they're from London. So, because when I was searching for you guys, this Baldy Holly kept coming up.
Yeah, they're like Everly Brothers.
Yeah,
tribute
something
band
like
or
that.
something.
Cool. Yeah,
Right
yeah,
on.
but yeah.
Hit us up, boys. If you
Yeah.
hear this.
Baldy Holly. What's up?
Baldy Holly, whatever they are. So,
Okay.
yeah. But this is not Baldy Holly. This is Holly, HOLLYY.
That's right.
And the Y is because why do we need the comma?
Because why not? Why freaking not?
Thank
That's
you.
right.
See,
That's
you
right.
did it.
Well,
Alrighty, guys.
we're all set.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Of course.
Thanks
Gonna
for
have to
having
come out.
us.
Got to come out and see you guys. You sound really great.
Please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Holy shit, are they good?
Man,
Oh man,
I was blown away.
no kidding, man. They sounded great.
When what's his name? Tanner was his name.
Yeah.
When he opened his mouth and started singing, I was shocked. I didn't expect that voice to come out of him.
I know. And it was like, and then when he stopped singing that first time, I was like, don't stop. What are
Yeah.
you? That's a mighty short song.
Yeah, and that was my fault. I was trying to help him out with the chord.
Right.
Was hitting the neck of the guitar, and he thought I was trying to signal him. But no, that
Wow.
was fantastic.
That's great.
And they seem to really be doing the right stuff.
Yeah.
Going on tour and trying to get their names out there. I hope I can run into them eventually one day
Yeah, me too.
and see what their whole show is like.
But
So
hopefully they'll be on the road for a while and making a name for themselves.
yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. Another great band here at the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast, where you can find a new episode every Tuesday night. See you next week. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Chicago.